methods of least square. So here they asked us to just fit a straight line, and they have not asked us to draw any graph here. Okay, so it was just a normal problem with year and production given to us, and then we went on to calculate x. Here we assumed x values, and if you see, we have 1 2 3 4 5 6 7. Okay, 7 years data is given to us. So this is one type of assuming x, that is you start from 0. Okay, you start from 0 and then you go on till 6 years. Okay, in excuse me. Okay, so once we assume x in one way, so then we have y, which is given to us in the problem, and we calculate or we multiply x and y to get us xy, and we calculate x square, and then we will get all the totals here. Okay, this last column will be calculated later. So we will calculate all of the summation x, summation y, summation xy, and summation x square. Now after this, in this method, okay, in this method where we will be where we will assume x values starting from 0 till 6, we will have to do the equations or consider the simultaneous equations and solve them. Okay, you're supposed to solve the simultaneous equations and then arrive at the values of a and b. Now here, to make it same, to make the variables same, we have multiplied the whole equations with 3 in the first case, because 7 3s are 21, and in the second case we have just multiplied it with 1. Okay, so this is one type of doing the problem. Later we subtracted both the equations and we got the value of b, and then we went on to find the value of a, that is substituting the b value in one of the equation, and then we got a value, that is 110 110.786. So now substitute a and b in the form of equation. Okay, so this is the regression equation which we will be using throughout the time series. So the trend line yc is nothing but the trend line, is equal to a plus bx. A is 110.786, b is 4.5. Okay, so 110.786 plus 4.5x. So this is what is the trend line equation that we have for this problem. Now going back to our solution, here the last column we did not solve, so this we are going to calculate the trend values. Okay, so come back to the problem. You see, here you can calculate trend values in the table itself, or after calculation of equation you can continue and calculate all these trend values separately. Both can be done, but it is better to do it in a table because it is easy for you to have all the values in one side while you're plotting the graph. So how do we find the trend values? For this equation, we are going to substitute x here for every year. Now let us understand, for 2006 we'll write the equation. In the place of x we have 0. See, the value of x is also 0, so we take 0, so we get 110.786. Similarly, for 2007 x is 1, so we substitute 1 and we get 115.286. For 2, it is again you substitute 2, 119.786, like this, and so on, you get all the values. Now one thing what you'll have to understand is the
Ma'am,
total of y values. Yeah, someone has doubt?
ma'am, in 2009 the trend value is 124.286, ma'am.
Okay, fine. I will check that and I will change that. Okay, fine. Thank you, Akhila. So here 124.286 is it? Okay, just correct that point. So if you see
Even
the
next also,
total,
ma'am. Next
okay,
128.786.
okay, fine. So little corrections here and there in the points, please make it. Maybe that was some printing mistake in the textbook, because I couldn't sit and calculate the whole of the values. Okay, so please correct those things. Next, so we will have the total of y value is 870, and the trend value also you will get 870. Okay, now when you're plotting the graph, when you're plotting the graph for this problem, you will consider year 2006 to 2012. You will consider the years, and then you will consider the y values. You don't consider x in the graph, you will consider the y values, that is computed values, and then you will consider the trend values, the last values here which we which we calculated. This will be considered. Okay, so that was your first problem. Now let us move on and solve one more similar problem to this. So fit a straight line to the following data by the method of least squares. It is the same problem which I have taken, but here the assumption of x will be in a different way. So if you go back to the problem, it is still same 2006 to 2012 with y values 100, 120 till 140, but the way we assume x in that problem will be different. Let us see that. Okay, coming to the solution here, computation of trend values by method of least square. Again, I repeat, heading for any of the statistics problems are compulsory. Without heading, you will not, the examiner will not know, or the evaluator will not know what you are trying to calculate. So please write the heading computation of trend values by the method of least square. So we are computing trend values by which method? Method of least square. And we copy down the year, and then comes the x values. In x values, if you see, we are assuming x in a different way. So we start with minus values and then to the positive. Now how to do this? First, check how many years data you have. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 years data you have. So out of 7 years, 7 is an odd number, and out of 7 years, 2009 can be taken as the center number or the middle number. And for that middle number, you can assign 0 as the x value. Okay, you can assign 0 as the x value, and then upwards of this 0, okay, towards the top of the 0 will be the minus values, that is -1, -2, -3. And downwards of this 0 will be the positive values 1, 2, and 3. Okay, so it is -1, -2, -3, and then 1, 2, and 3. But the previous problem, I mean the same problem previously, how did we assume? We started with x being 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So when we have x values assumed like this, we are supposed to solve simultaneous equation. We will have to solve, substitute the value, then find the equation. Okay, but if you have a if you are able to assume the x values like this, then we need not solve the equations by simultaneous method. Okay, now let us move on further and understand. So y values, whatever is there, we have considered as it is. So sigma y is equal to 870, and sigma x here will be 0. Okay, sigma x here will be 0 because 0 is in the center. 1, 2, 3 minus 1, 2, 3 will nullify the numbers, so it is 0. Now next procedure remains same. Multiply x and y, you'll get minus values. Then for 2009 you'll get 0, and for the next 3 years you'll get positive values, and the total of that is 126. Then coming to the next, that is x square. So if you square the x values here, -3 square is +9. Okay, it's not minus again. Please be careful. -3 into -3 is +9. So -2 square is 4, -1 square is 1, 0, 1, 4, and 9. That will be your x square values. So if you add x square values, it's going to be 28. Okay, now this trend values we will calculate. We'll see how to calculate later. Now first we have x, y, xy, and x square. Okay, any doubts still here? Everybody understood?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Let's continue then. So after this, now we have to fit a trend line. Now the regression equation that we use is yc is equal to a plus bx. Now for finding out a and b, we have a short formula which we can use in this case. Okay, if we assume x to be minus 3, minus 2, minus 1, 0, 1, 2, 3, then we can use this method directly. Okay, but if you start from 0, 1, 2, 3, 4 for x, then you have to solve the whole bunch of the formulas and the equations to arrive at a and b. I hope you are able to understand the difference. So in this case, you will have yc is equal to a plus bx, or this is the trend line. So a is equal to sigma y by n and b is equal to sigma xy by x square. This is the formula. It's very easy to remember and understand. So a is equal to sigma y by n and b is equal to sigma xy by sigma x square. Now let us understand, or let us see what is sigma y. So sigma y is 870, sigma xy is 126, sigma x square is 28. So sigma y is, okay, sorry, this is 870. Okay, this is 870, not 878. This is 870 by 7. 870 by 7 will give you 124. Okay, 124.286. And then for B, it is sigma xy by x square. So 126 is your sigma xy. So 126 is your sigma xy. So that is going to be 126 by 28, where you'll get 4.5. So the straight line where we have to fit the trend is 124.286 plus 4.5 into x. So this is how you derive the equation. This derivation this derivation of equations is very, very easy than going and solving the full simultaneous equation. Okay, so once you get this trend line, then you are supposed to go back to the calculation here. Now in this calculation, you will add this. Okay, I think there's some mistake. Okay, so this is supposed to be 128. I think it's just back in the same number. Okay, 124.826.45. So it is just supposed to be that value where we substitute the numbers here. Okay, now the substitution of the numbers is going to be minus 3, minus 2, minus 1 and 0, 1, 2, 3. So that is supposed to be the total numbers. Okay. Guys, just wait a minute. The problems will be of similar kind and they are very, very easy. You can expect one question for 6 marks for sure. And 14 marks, one question might come where they'll ask you to estimate. Okay, questions like this. Now let us see the next question. Okay, so given below are the figures of production in tons of a sugar factory. Now here they have given us year and they have given us the production in tons. So you have 2006, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So how many years? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 years again. So you have production 154, 176, 188, 170, 182, 196 and 180. So these are the tons. question is still there. This is continuation. Fit a straight line by least squares method. So they've clearly mentioned it is least square method. Then show the actual and trend line on a graph sheet. So we're going to answer this in a graph sheet. And estimate the production for the year 2013. So first we have to solve and fit a straight line to the given data using least square method. Then we have to mark, or we have to show the actual and the trend line on a graph sheet, and then we have to estimate the production for the year 2013. So we are supposed to do 3 separate calculations. So we'll see what is to be done. First, give the heading computation of trend values by the method of least square. Then copy down the year from the question, and then assumption of x is gonna be like this hereafter. This is most easy way to assume x, because you will save a lot of time in calculation and solving the simultaneous equation. Okay, so here again 2009 is the central value. So I'll assume 0 for that, and above 0 are the minus values, -1, -2, -3, and below them are +1, +2, +3, and sigma x is going to be 0. Okay, then y values will be copied from will be taken from the question, whatever is given to us. Then later we are going to calculate xy, that is multiplication of x values and y column. -3 into 154 is -462. -2 into 176 is -352. -1 into 118 is -118. 0 into 170 is 0. 1 into 182 is 182. 2 into 196 is 392. 3 into 180 is 540. And then total the columns. Sigma x is 0. Sigma y is 1246. Sigma xy is 112. We have minus values as well as plus values. So be careful in calculating. Then find out x square as usual. Okay. Once we are done with this, now let us find out value of A and value of B. Now to find value of A, we have sigma y by n. N is nothing but number of years that is given to us. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. They have given us 7 years data. So sigma y by n is nothing but 1246 by n. And then to find B, we have sigma xy by sigma x square. So 112 by 28. That will be our value of B. Now here is the trend line that we are supposed to fit the trend line for this equation. So trend line is equal to A plus BX. So A is equal to sigma y by n. I told you 1246 by 7 is 178. Then B is equal to sigma xy by x square. That is 112 by 28. That is what we have in the solution. That is what we calculated, 112 by 28, which is equal to 4. Okay. Therefore, the straight line is, in the place of A, substitute the value 178. In the place of B, substitute the value 4. So 178 plus 4x. This is the total value. So any doubts until here? Everybody understood? Okay. Now, whatever equation we have got, that we have to apply here to find the trend values. Okay. So the trend values are nothing but 178 plus 4 into the value of x. Okay. 178 into 4 with the value of x here. So with the value of x, what will happen? 178 plus 4 into minus 3 is 166. 178 plus 4 into minus 2 is 170, and minus 1 is 174. Likewise, you will have to go. Here 4 into 0 is 0. So 178 will remain as it is. Okay. So once you find out all of the trend values, the total of y, that is 1246, will be equal to the trend values here. Okay. Now let us go back to the question and see what all we have solved. Fit a straight line by least squares method. Okay, we have done this. Where we have done this by fitting the equation. This is the trend line. We calculated A and B and we found the equation. Okay, so that first one is completed. This is done. Then show the actual trend and trend line on a graph sheet. Okay, now let us do this. So for the graph sheet, what are the data to be considered? You'll have to consider the year on the x-axis and the values of y on the y-axis and the trend values also on the y-axis. Okay, so let us go to the graph now. First, we have to write the axis. So axis, x-axis is 1 unit is equal to 1 year, or 1 centimeter is equal to 1 year. So here 2007, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. That is what we have the data with us. So we are going to plot those data. Then for the y-axis, check how many units are there. Okay, for the y-axis, check how many units are there. If you see here, you have 154, 176, 180. So there is a difference of somewhere around 10 to 20, right? So we will take 10 as the difference. Okay, so we'll take 10 as the difference. Now, since the production is given in thousands, so it is 10,000 units. Okay, now according to the data of Y, whatever they have given 154, but they say 000 units. Yes, which means 1,54,000 units. That is the meaning of it. So we are going to consider 10,000 units of data, or if you are getting confused, just make it as 10 units. 1 centimeter is equal to 10 units. And here we are considering it from 140. Okay, we are considering this point is 0. And from here, from 140, we will consider 140, 150, 160, 170. I think you can also start from 160. That also will give you a good view or good answer there. Clear? And then draw the graph. Okay, draw the graph required for it. If you see, you have 154, 176, 188, 170, 182 and all that. So draw the graph. Okay, I think it has considered from 2007. Okay, you have to consider 2006 also. Just wait a second. Yeah, now if you see, it is considering from 2006. So you have 154, 176, 188, 170, 196 and 180. So this is the Y data that we are considering. Y data. That is this 154, 176, 188, 180. So this is the Y data that we are considering. And the dark blue one are the trend values. Okay, so sorry. Dark blue one 166, 170, 174, 178, 182, 186. If you see here, they start from the small number and they go on to the bigger number. They are like in ascending order. Okay, so 166, 170, 174, 178, 182 and so on. Now if you see this trend, it is in upward direction. It's in upward direction from 166 till 190. It is in the upward direction. It's increasing. So these are known as upward trends. Okay, upward trends. But when you take y values, there is up and down and up and down, which is there. Okay, but the trend values currently are in upward movement, so they are known as upward trend of production, whatever is that they are doing. Okay, so this is how you plot the graph. So we finished question number 2. First, we had to fit the straight line by least squares method. Then we have to show the actual and trend line on a graph sheet. We have done both of them. Then coming to the last question, estimate the production for the year 2013. Now, how do we estimate? See, 2012 is the last data. Now, how 2013 is the next year data, right? 2013 is the next year data. Now, for 2013, I have to check what is the estimation value. Both I do not know, but I can assume X value. Now, if 1, 2, 3 are there, the next value is going to be 4. Okay, so X value, I can assume them. X value, I can assume them well. So what I'm going to do is, I'm going to assume the value of X, and then we will calculate the estimation for the year 2013. So when X is equal to 4. Now I'll take the same formula or the equation, and then in the place of X, I'm going to substitute 4. So for the year for the year 2013, I'm going to have the trend of 194 tons. That is the value for 2013. So once you know the previous values of production, sale, demand or anything, you will be able to calculate the value for next 1 or 2 years minimum, and in few cases you can calculate for more than that. Okay, so this is your next question, including the graph. This can be asked for 6 marks. Any doubts? Okay. Now we have the next data. It is the similar one. The problems are very similar here. Just these questions might change a little. Okay, fit a straight line trend to the following by the method of least squares, where you have 2006, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Again, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 years data. Sales in lakhs is given to us. And then they've asked us to plot the given data or trend values on a graph sheet and estimate the sales for the year 2013 and 14. So here they have asked us to estimate 2 years data, 2013 and 2014. Okay, so coming to the computation here, 2006 to 2012. Again, I am assuming X in this format because it is easy to calculate A and B and substitute the values. Coming to Y data, this is 80, 90, 92, 83, 94, 99 and 92. What is given to us is the same data we copy from the problem. Then coming to XY, multiply the column of X and multiply the column of Y. X and Y are supposed to be multiplied and then get the total of them, all of the 4. And lastly, we'll find the X square and we'll find the column the total of that column also. And then coming to trend values, we will first fit the equation and then we will calculate the trend values. Okay. Now coming to fitting of the equation, the regression equation is trend value is equal to A plus BX. So the formula for A is sigma Y by N. So sigma Y is 630, N is 7. That is now the number of years. So that is nothing but 90. Then again for the value of B, summation xy by summation x square, which is equal to 56 by 28, which is nothing but 2. Okay, so for fitting the straight line, the values are a plus bx. So a is 90, b is 2, and x. So this is our first answer for the question asked. Fit a straight line trend for the data given below. So we have got a straight line here. Okay, now this straight line, we are going to take it back to the problem to the table, and we will calculate the values. Oops, sorry, these values will also change. I think I was in a hurry to calculate the problem. So you'll have 90 plus 2 into minus 3, then minus 2, 1 0 1 2 3. Okay, so these values are supposed to be calculated. Please calculate these values and let me know what are the values there. But the total of y and the total of y and the trend value should be same. That is 630. Okay, the total of both of them should be same. Then that will complete our two questions. First is fit a straight line, and then plot estimate. No, we have not done that. So we have just calculated the straight line. Then we have to plot them in a graph sheet. Okay, so now going to the graph sheet, we have started from 2006 till 2012. We have plotted the data. Okay, we have plotted the data, that is the y data we have plotted, and then we will plot the trend line. Again, if you see here, the trend line is starting from the small value or the low value of 84, and it goes till 96. Now again, coming to the axis, 1 unit 1 year or 1 centimeter 1 year. When it comes to y axis, you have to check the problem, which is 80, 90, 80, 90, 92, 83, 94 and all that. So we will take 5 lakhs, or we will take 5 as the difference, so that we get a good view of the graph. And for the graph also, it is compulsory to write the heading, that is graph showing actual and trend value of sales. Now once we finish with these graph, then we can go back and estimate for 2 years, that is 2013 and 2014. So we already have the straight line equation. So we will be estimating the production for the year 2013 when x is equal to 4. How did we know x is 4? So if you come back to the table, 2013, the value for 2013, I can assume x being 4, and for the value 2014 I can assume x being 5, right? So that is how I also got to know about x being 4 and x being 5. Okay, then calculate